Yes. I think when we learn this Eastern wisdom and these simple principles, normally the mind starts with a wishful thinking. I believe you all know that what is wishful thinking. Okay, I understood the impurities are there. Okay, I have understood these impurities are preventing me to evolve and reach and find the real self. So I don't need any effort. I have understood it. But if we have a wishful thinking, there will be no change in our behavior, in our attitude, in life. It is simply a wastage to attend the program. Um, Wishful thinking does not work, will not work at all. No, what do you mean? I don't have wishful thinking. No, I have heard that it's a living in a moment is what the mindfulness is. That is a wishful thinking. Without purifying the mind, I'm living in a moment, why I should listen to this, why should I understand these principles? It will never work. Do whatever you want to do. Now, it's important to talk about this. Exceptions are there. What are those exceptions? Those masters like Nisargadatta, we discussed in a couple of weeks ago, that Nisargadatta went to the master. He said, you are of the nature of the real self. And he kept on continuing with that remembrance that I'm of the nature of peace and happiness, even if there was challenges in the life. And he achieved that. So what is the exception? Exception is that he had a greatest will power to succeed. No, I have to succeed. So if you have the greatest willpower with reference to the real self, you don't need to purify the mind. It will be purified by itself. Did you understand the difference between a wishful thinking and supported by the greatest will? Sri Aurobindo, the greatest, one of the great masters, when first time he went to his master Lele, who asked him, do you remember? Who asked him that, oh, you want to learn meditation? So Master Lele recognized intuitively that he can reach to that state. So he said, close your eyes, first instruction. Second instruction, watch, observe. These thoughts are coming from outside. Thought contains the impurity. Second instruction. And third, before these thoughts enters into your mind, throw them away. Do you know that Sri Aurobindo heard these three instructions in meditation and he kept on sitting in meditation for 10 hours. So you see the difference between a wishful thinking and supported by the greatest will. If you have the greatest will and then you say, I'm living in a moment, it will make a difference. Normally, you might have heard, no, I'm living in a moment, I'm in stress, so living in stress, that is living in a moment. I heard from a lot of people, so that's why I I'm talking about that. Understand that. So, wishful thinking versus the greatest will that I. No, no, I heard that, I understood you. So, don't understand me, understand yourself. Understand yourself. That is very important. Now, we will go to the verse. Maybe 2 weeks ago, we understood that you, Masters tells that the real self dwells in the cave of my heart, and still I am not able to experience. The reason, Master says, because of the ignorance, impurity, and restlessness. These are the three impurities. These are the three factors which is preventing me to realize. So in that case, the wishful thinking will not work. I have to work on to purify the mind. Are you realizing who among us are having wishful thinking and who am I? No, that is your job, that is not my job. So now the next verse we covered that we intellectually understand that the ignorance can be removed by the knowledge. But there is a difficulty in grasping that knowledge. So I would request you to recall the last session we worked on how to receive that knowledge, how we get the knowledge of anything, any object. So there should be an object of knowledge, there should be a means of knowledge, and there should be a subject of knowing the process. So why it is difficult grasping the knowledge so that it purifies the mind? The main obstacle are the impurities. If the impurities, the next verse, the master says, if the impurities of the mind are not weakened, and how it can be weakened? If I understand clearly that there is no desire in the mind. You see the connections. The impurities cannot be weakened until the desire is not weakened. That is, so we come down, you know, so that's why I started with the wishful thinking. Wishful thinking versus a strongest will, power. So I have the weakest will as long as the impurities are present. Now connect all these. So don't get frustrated. Master says, don't, I should not have any guilt. I should not be frustrated. I should not feel stressed. I'm not worthy of suffering. Simply recognize it is because of the impurities of the mind, and the impurities of the mind is because of the desire. So we have, every day, sometimes people get stressed 25 times. It means it will take some time to become a seeker. You know, it happens in the daily life. You wake up and your honey said something, so internally you say, I never say anything to my honey, I'm burning within. Why you are burning with? Think of it. Impurities. Think. So when I intellectually think and contemplate, I recognize. The moment you recognize, you have a knowledge, and the knowledge removes the ignorance. That is the first step. And then the second step, okay, this is a happening every days and weeks and months and years. So I have to work on removing the impurities. I believe you understand. We are going deeper and deeper. So the seeker challenges the mind. I am not worthy of suffering. One aspect. So when I say I'm not worthy of suffering, do I experience the changes in the behavior, attitude, and action in the life? Do you still remember? Frequency, intensity, and recovery period is reduced. I'm recalling you, helping you to remember. You get a feel that I'm upset. You recognize it. When you recognize it, the intensity of that stress goes down and the recovery period is very fast. It does not translate into a manifestation and expression in the body. You are a great seeker. I think I have already answered the why my mind does not work the way Sri Aurobindo mind works, the way the another master minds works. He heard that arm of the nature of real self, and that is the only instruction. He reached to that state. He died in 80s, I think. He was working in a convenience shop and he continued working there. So what prevents that holding me to not to know the real self? The impurities of the mind. The dirt has 6 factors that we discussed. Desire. After desire, there is a trigger, there is an agitation to fulfill that desire. That may be in the form of an anxiety, that may be in the form of restlessness, that may be in the form of duality. And no, 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 I have to achieve. And after that, if the desire is fulfilled, we discuss that it results into greed. And if the pleasure continues with that greed, it results into pride, and the pride results into jealousy. But after the greed, we have a perception that the world outside, the object outside, is the source of peace and happiness. That is the delusion. So we also understood that after all, desire is anger, desire is hesitation, desire is greed, desire is delusion, desire is pride, desire is jealousy, desire is stress. I have to explore, sit down and find out why I am upset. And you will find the ultimate is the cause is the desire. Let me tell you one interesting thing. No master, all the 3,000 texts, no text talks about how to manage your anger. The cause of the anger is desire. Desire colors itself, it becomes anger. Desire colors itself, it becomes greed. Desire colors itself, it becomes anxiety. Desire colors itself, it becomes delusion. I have to explore that. I have to sit down, contemplate, and reflect. First, I'm not worthy of suffering. Now I got upset, so let me think. Let me contemplate and find out. No one else is, no one else is responsible for my suffering. So the master says, I'm repeating today's verse, as long as the impurities are not weakened, such as the mind's attachment, so long no desire for knowing the truth arises in the human heart or the mind. What simply it means? You remove the impurities, the mind will naturally, without any effort, without any effort, will aspire for the real self. And then you sit in meditation, there is no obstruction, there is no restlessness, there will be a total absorption. So let us expand this verse. There are many ways to expand this verse, but I'll pick up one or two. First thing that we should think of weakening this impurity, loosening, or we break up this impurity. It will not go in a day. It takes time. It takes time. Now connect this to your daily behavior, thinking, action in life. There are two sources. One source, the way I think, the way I speak, the way I act in my life. Second, from the past due to my habit, impulsive, instinctive nature. That impulsive, instinctive, and habitual nature causes the likes and dislikes. So, what is the way I should live consciously? So, people have translated into a very easiest way: live in a moment. It will not work. It has never worked. So the way the way I behave, I think, and I act in my daily life, in my personal, professional, social life. Now, what you are doing, you are bringing that mindfulness into your daily life and activities. You instantly become aware. Are you making a fun of someone from where that idea has come to you? Or just for example, I'm just giving a simple example. You withdraw yourself, you are holding yourself from where that idea of holding yourself has come. You're not making your mind free. Ask yourself. You'll come to know. So that comes from the past impressions. Impulsive, instinctive, habitual nature, impurity of the mind. So the master says, weaken it, loosen it, broken it, remove them. That is why it takes little time to remove that impurities. The mind instantly makes the situation responsible, the person responsible, the event responsible, the time responsible. No, it is not my time. Until few weeks ago, Sam Freed has all the time. Do you know what I'm talking about? I was talking to Stephen yesterday. Until few weeks ago, the Sam Freed, $10-20 billion, something. And now he's in a Bahamas prison. That is how we calculate our time. This is not my time and this is my time. So when I say this is my time and this is not my time, if you go deeper and contemplate, it is only because of the desire. Oh, desire is being fulfilled. It's my time. Think of it. Think. People, I am surrounded by the people who like me. It is my time. Think. People are surrounding me who dislike me. It's not my time. It has nothing to do with the time. We go a little deeper and understand why my mind is obsessed, attached, and crave. Is it not natural? That is another argument modern science gives. Biological urge. There is a biological urge. What about you as an individual? Don't you have the willpower to give direction to this biological urges? It is natural. Another way to reflect on it, my master gave me that secret. Don't forget these three statements. And whenever you are in stress, work on this. What is the three phrases? What I want, I don't get it. Second, what I get, I don't like it. What I like, it does not remain forever. I'm repeating. What I want, I don't get it. What I want, wishful thinking, desire, craving. What I want, I don't get it. So then take the last word, get. What I get it, I don't like it. What I like, it does not remain forever. The mind will become empty. We don't think about it. So this wanting, getting, and liking, from where it comes? It comes from seeking, desiring. Desire is colored, becomes the craving. Desire is colored, it becomes an obsession. So now think, are they really natural? What I like, it does not remain forever, is real, is my desire for the world outside, has something to do with the impurities of the mind. I like it, I want, I crave, I'm obsessed, I desire. Now answer another question. That is how the contemplation works. Okay, I desire. Why you say that it is unnatural? No. First understand that why I want, what I get, and what I like. It is only because of the pleasure. Do you like something that does not give you pleasure? Answer is no. That level of contemplation and reflection is required to live in a moment. So it gives me the pleasure. And the next question I have discussed many a times. Does this pleasure present in any object, in any person, in the world outside, in any situation? The answer is no. No, but mind is seeking, mind is feeling, mind is craving to get that pleasure. What is this? The world is delusion. So, what happens after the delusion? Then I claim that I'm worthy of suffering. You see the entire sequence. One after the other, the mind plays with us. When the mind plays with us, we are bound to suffer. We will never be able to find that real self. we will never be able to find our real self. Now, see what happens? Mind is engaged in wanting, getting, liking. It has created a veil that the pleasure is present outside in the world. So I don't feel strongly the need to find the real self. You see, the entire sequence, it creates a circle, vicious cycle. We'll talk about the four types of the seekers. So I simply forget during my day-to-day living. There is a sense of forgetfulness, and that forgetfulness is ignorance. I say you are very good, your meditation is very good, 1 hour of meditation is very good. 23 hours of the life is full of craziness. It will not work. When I am a seeker, in this 1 hour, I have to be a seeker 24/7. How? Mentally, intellectually, with awareness. Otherwise, the mind will take over us. Ignorance first, then impurity, then the sense of restlessness. Do you see now the connection? Ignorance first, then the impurity, then the restlessness. And last point, the impurity prevents us to desire the real self. The impurity prevents us to know who am I. The impurity prevents us to know what is this existence of which I am a part. The impurity prevents us to discover what is permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is the nature of the real self. Think of this, contemplate and reflect, and then keep on practicing. Close your eyes, my friends. Position of the body. Eyes are closed. And I'm prompting you, I'm triggering your mind. Check how fast you are settled. So, what will happen anytime, anywhere? You listen, mindfulness or meditation, the mind says, I'm settled. Go ahead. With eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. Do you see that? The time will come when you are practicing meditation or you are in meditation with eyes open or closed. So, in this case, it is the knowledge, it is your awareness, it is your mental awareness, it is your conscious mind says, I'm settled. Or I am still struggling with the body, breath, mind, position of the body. No, now, no more struggle. And then being comfortable. We still want to ensure, because we are a seeker, we take every step consciously. So I'm settled in a comfort. And now I follow the steps as a play and effect. I look at the neck joint. I means the mind, conscious mind. Looks at the neck joint. I'm there, not doing anything. Then I experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Then I reflect that sensation has to do with the physical body. Comfort is an experience in the mind, and steadiness, any form of steadiness and stillness, has to do with the real self. Do I have a feel of stillness and steadiness? Yes, that is the first glimpse of the real self. Don't ask the mind to project the colors and visions and hallucinations. No, we are not. Shoulder joints being there, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. We all are seekers. These are the higher practices of meditation. Knee joints. So now see the mind in the state of the purity lives in a moment. For example, with reference to the knee joints. So you are living in a moment. There is no abstraction in terms of the thought, feeling, and unconscious drives. So you have a natural experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. That indicates the impurities are absent, my friend. Awareness of the entire body, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Do you see? It's a smooth, very smooth, soft, and gentle working on the mind, where the mind is not suppressed, dictated. Mind is not at all reacting. Mind says, I'm with you. What it means, purity of the mind. In that state, we can say live in a moment. And now we still want to continue with being carefree, my friends, carefree, free from all the cares. You are watching, observing, witnessing the thought, feeling, and the sensation, any experience that is taking place in the mind. Let them come, let them go. Are you not settled? Yes, you're settled fully. The world outside, including the mind that is changing, there is an influx of the thoughts, there is an incoming of the thoughts and outgoing, like a traffic on the road. I use that metaphor. The birds flying in the sky, the space remains the same. The space does not change. Whenever mind is soft, restful, aware, the mind expands the knowledge of the mantra. Otherwise, we go on repeating habitually. Sometime impulsively, it will not work. Now see Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. I believe you remember word, meaning, and the knowledge. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Meaning, let there be a well being for all. The moment you say the meaning, the knowledge enters into the mind and it purifies the mind. What do you mean? Yes. So the intellect argues if the well being is what everyone is seeking in the world, all the living species. It means that well being is our essential nature. Behind the body, mind, intellect, ego, and the mind settles there. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. So you see, is it a wishful thinking or it is the truth? That is why we understand the meaning. And that is why we expand that into a knowledge accepted by the mind. And mind says there is no reason why should I start seeking something outside. That is the end of the desire. That is how we contemplate and reflect to arrive at the knowledge. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. So beautiful. I appreciate you all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Meaning, let there be a completeness in all. If you look closely, another reflection, one master gave another reflection. He says if you look closely all the four lines, it helps the intellect to expand, and the meaning is end of desire. All the four aspects. Sense of completeness, then I will not desire anything outside. And then what happens? That is the fourth line. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. So in the beginning I said auspiciousness is equal to well-being plus peace plus completeness. There is another expression. All the three combines and brings knowledge and the joy. Here and now. So we are already in a meditation. We are already in a meditative state. But as a seeker, we realize these impurities may return again because of the past impressions, because of the life we live. Anything that we have done in the past, it has created millions of impressions. It needs to be removed. We should be vigilant. And that is where the role of the breathing comes. Breathing and chanting. So looking deep inside the forehead, in the space, dropping Om Shanti gently, softly, with love. Body remains steady. Check it first. Be aware. Now the mind does not invite any reaction or hesitation, how long I have to do. It says, no, I'm ready. So Om Shanti continues, body remains steady. And then start breathing from the chest. Only the chest is expanding and contracting. Your whole body is not moving. Remember this. Do not fight with the mind. Fighting with the mind means that we stop being the seeker. The mind follows with you. Is it a willpower? In a short. And stop it. One thought came to my mind, let me share with you. If you have the stronger willpower to bypass the impurities of the mind, you will have the same experiences that you achieved through the breathing. Many people say the breathing helped me to relax. No, the mind went deeper inside. It transcended the impurities. That resulted into this experience. So we can have breathing, we have mantra, we have thousands of tools. Keep that in your mind. That will help us to go a little deeper. And now Om Shanti continues. The body is steady. Start breathing into your belly. The belly expands and belly contracts. The body remains steady. And also check that face remains restful. Our focus is on the mind. Is the mind supporting me? Or is the mind objecting to my practice? Should be the key. Continue, my friends. The mind undergoes a variety of experiences and you accept it and you continue. We want to check. We want to say to the mind that we don't believe your limit. We want to cross that limit. Can we consciously? If we do it habitually, it will bring the reaction because of the impurities of the mind. Continue. and stop it. Is the mind living with the knowledge that the mind is transcended? The impurities are at a bay, at a distance, and that results into these freshness experiences and restfulness. It is not because of the breathing. It may be at the physiological changes, so we are not talking of that. Your oxygen concentration in the blood suddenly increases, that results into freshness, tingling, numbness, etc., etc. That's another way to understand. We cannot do this for 24 hours. And now is the third breathing. Om Shanti continues the body and start breathing both into the belly and the chest. Become conscious. You expand your belly first, then into the chest. Ashok may be careful. First you inhale into the belly and then into the chest. You have started breathing very short and quick from the chest. No, first you inhale into the belly and the chest. So it's a long and the hissing breath. We are going for a intense practice with the knowledge and understanding, my friends. It's not time to leave it. It's not time to complain. It's not the time to have an excuse, no, I cannot do it. I'm going to show you the noise that you should feel in doing the third kind of the breathing. See that? By this noise, you are consciously inhaling first into the belly, into the chest, exhaling from the belly and from the chest. And stop it. We will do the nyasa in the spine only. Start inhaling deep, silent, and slow. As you inhale, the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Singing, you remember, I believe, Om Shanti, and the moment you complete Shanti, it reaches at the tailbone. Now, when you exhale, the mind rises with the breath, reaching to the crown of the head, Shanti. No, I don't see the spine. No, just move the mind with an imagination, with an idea, with feeling. It's not important, Sometimes the secondary part becomes important in meditation. Now, you're giving a direction to the mind. You're taking it away from the impurities. And I could see definitely a lot of changes on your faces. Because when the mind is full of restlessness, the face, that glow disappears. You might have been experiencing how easy it is, so to say, to withdraw the mind, getting absorbed deeper within is so natural. If it is natural, mind is pure. I'm giving different ways of the knowledge to explain so that if you keep in the mind, it will help us to understand the future lessons where other principles will reveal. And now leave that, look inside the cave of your heart. Triangle is just a means, like a car. And you already know the mind moves slowly on each side, dropping Om Shanti. And there you check, is the mind smooth sailing? Is the mind not going anywhere, moving clockwise, anti clockwise? Whether you do it one time, two times, three times, it does not matter. What matters? The mind is perfectly smooth, no objection at all. At that moment, center of the triangle, you're pushing the mind by the Om deep inside the cave of your heart. You feel the mind seemingly stops. There you say Shanti. And I use the word self absorption. And you stay there. Can I say wait for revelation? Yes. The mind returns again. No issue. Go to the triangle. Again, Om Shanti. But don't do it mechanically. There is a caveat. What is that caveat? You are checking the mind is smooth sailing on a triangle. Then only you, the mind was taking you out. Now you are ready to take over the mind. And find his gun. One way to say, will also you may experience very subtle objections in the form of a sensation, maybe a thought. But those objections can be easily overruled. Why? Because we are a seeker. They come, they go. Yeah, it's important to mention that. Those thoughts may continue, but your mind says, I have to do nothing with them. You're totally unaffected, not dictated. Goal of the mind is to have a thought. Thought is a product of knowledge. That's how we work. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. It is an awareness only. See the instruction? Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. And then ask yourself what happened so that we can share our experiences. Bring the hands down. We will share our experiences to progress. How are you, Stephen?
Good. Thank you again. I would say that it was absolute thoughtlessness. Everything, even the lesson. I felt like I was an observer. I typically, when I hear your lessons, I think about them. I contemplate and reflect while you're actually talking. I see how it applies to me, etc. But today was just I hung on every word. I heard everything. I understood everything immediately, and it continued into my meditation. I step by step, I was with it as just observing it. I wasn't judging it. I had no thoughts about it. And the only thing I could tell you at the end, it was difficult to come back from it.
Beautiful. It becomes difficult to come out of the meditation. One, and it was a smooth sailing, no objections coming from the mind. That is what the purified state of the mind. Sometimes you have a question, what is that purified state of the mind? That is what it is. Beautiful. That's beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. It was very good. It was very clear, clean, expansive, no limit. And the observation that I had was that how restrictive our mind is on our getting to our true self. And if we remove that restriction, then the possibilities are endless. And you can then take that into everyday life and go, if I don't have that mind, in certain instances, the possibilities are endless. So it was wonderful.
That's another beautiful explanation. You listen to the principle and the reflection continues in the mind, and then you practice, come out and share your experiences, share your experiences. This is what happens to the mind. And what he said is very important. Then as long as the mind is restricted, means it is limited, means it is imprisoned. How? By desire, by impurity of the mind. You remove it, the mind reflects the real self. That is where we are heading to. How are you, Jerry?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, similar to both Stephen and David, in that through the meditation, the mind is really happily aligned with the knowledge, and then through the days, noticing that the mind is always looking for the peace, the clarity, so if a situation seems tumultuous, then I notice that my mind goes, oh, I must not be communicating clearly, or maybe I wasn't as open, the mind. So as I'm looking at the mind, the mind's never looking at the situation, blaming the situation. It's always looking at how can you bring more peace, compassion, love.
Yeah. Why? Because it is my nature. And one of the aspects of the purification of the mind, that mind is looking for the manifestation of peace and happiness. And go ahead.
Well, just one other thing that I noticed in the teaching today is that sometimes somebody will bring, oh, I'm stressed to you. I'm so stressed. And sometimes we want to say, oh, stressed, because they say, oh, I'm stressed because I don't have money. So you want to give them more money, but that doesn't help. And you want to help them decrease their stress, but you can't. Yeah. So, and it just occurred to me that just like I do with my own mind, I ask it a question. That's how I can probably best work with my relationships, is ask them a question and then let them sit with it.
That is most beautiful. You see that? No, I don't have a food to eat. Can you lend me the money? So what normally society said, it is kind of a charity. But that idea of the charity comes from my emotional clinging towards the survival. It has nothing to do with the wisdom. But all the religions talk about it. So our journey goes a step beyond. No. Why your mind reacted? So it is an emotional bondage. But what you are saying, no, I have to ask a question. I have to ask a question gently, softly. Sometimes people will listen, sometimes will not listen. Wonderful. And I will bring in now, and I will also talk about it, anesthesia. I'll tell you what. Yes,
Oh, thank you. It was so good to be with you all and in meditation. It was like being in the middle of nowhere. I didn't see anything, and I just heard your voice, and I didn't feel my body. And this is interesting because I am having flu, and
yeah, yeah. Maybe the internet connection might have gone. I wanted to tell about Anastasia. She volunteered to translate uh, my session into Ukrainian language. A lot of people, about 15, 20 people are there. And today is Thursday. On Monday itself, she had a session and she said that I practiced meditation with my eyes open because I have to translate. And I experienced the deeper state. Now pay attention, this is what happens. She has to translate. So in order to translate, she has to understand, so translate. So it becomes a part of contemplation and reflection. And that is why she is progressing faster. It's a wonderful, that is why, Stephen and Sam and sometimes Brandy, they are editing the book. So, but we editing the book means you are going through it. You are understanding. Because without understanding, how can you edit? So it's many ways, the teacher helps. So how are you, Sam?
Good. Uh, Felt a similar cold experience, timelessness.
Good.
It was very, very nice.
Very nice. So this is, that's beautiful, beautiful. And keep it up. And how are you, Vaibhav?
Sir, I'm good. It's like my natural state is always in peace. Only when mind runs after the desires, then it will get agitated. Otherwise, it will always remain silent and peaceful.
Yes. I want to add one more point. At least, we have millions of desires in our life. And having those desires and their effect has made us so much habitual that we don't feel it desire is an hesitation. Are you getting it what I want to say? So now learning and being a seeker helps me to separate. Oh, there is a desire. It is because hesitation is there. There is no desire. Restfulness is there. Normally we don't feel. If you invite Sam Freed, he says, no, forget about it. I'm very happy. But now he's not happy. I'm talking of those guys, that guy, who was he was in a prison. Ask yourself. I'm not saying that he is a bad or a good guy, but I have to see the world outside, how I have to live, how I have to think, how I have to act in the world. Yes, Ashok. How are you, sir?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, it was very good and peaceful, and it has the effect during the daytime as well. Whenever situation comes or whenever mind goes here and there, then contemplation and reflection comes into it, and I mean, mind gets clarity. then
Very
anxiety is over and becomes more clear.
more clear.
That's it.
We see the change in his voice today. Yes, we notice all these things. Wonderful, very good. How are you, Samir?
Sir, I during the practice, I have been realizing that I am the desires and all my wishes and what I think about the outside world is starting the problem within me. If
Hmm.
I break that thing in the beginning, then it doesn't increases. Means I have to learn the art of, as soon as it pops up, it should be, means with clarity, with understanding, it should be dealt with. I think
Yes,
so.
yes, that's another way to narrate your experiences. This mind will never stop thinking. So I have to reflect. Does this thought passes to my mind contains the desire? If I am aware, I can drop it there and then. So what he said it is worth noting. Sometimes what happens, the desire sneaks into my mind and it lives, it strengthens, and it weakens my aspiration for the real self. And then it takes time. How it can happen? It can only happen by the knowledge, by understanding, not by practice. I have a craving for $1 million. Okay, how to get rid of let me start breathing. The breathing is not going to help you unless you understand it. Are you seeing that difference? For some time, for a few minutes, it will take you away from that, but mind is craving, so that impression will come up back again. Yes, how are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर। आज ऐसे लग रहा था जैसे मैं अपने आप से मिल रही हूँ।
Beautiful. That's a statement is beautiful. She is saying that it appeared to her that she is meeting herself. You see, the different experiences. And when you are practicing daily, you will have a similar expression. It will come back. Why? No. Her expression is different from Stephen. No, it all comes from the real self. We all have the one real self. That is how those texts were written. It's not that I'm teaching you. I'm just helping you to reveal your own nature that you already have. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for
सर
everything.
फ्री होंगे तो 2 मिनट बात कर लेंगे बाद में।
हाँ,